Got a wordy question here, so I'm going to get my highlighter out. There are 400 pupils in a primary school. Of the 400, 88 play a musical instrument. Express the number of pupils who play a musical instrument as a fraction of the 400 pupils. Give your answer in its simplest form. So it's the number of pupils who play, which is 88, over the total number of pupils, which is 400. Now, this answer can be simplified, so I need to figure out what's the biggest number that can go into 88 and 400. So let's have a look at 88 and have a look at 400. Now, you might be able to do this in your head, or you can just list your factor pairs. 1 times 88, 2 times 44. Does 3 go into it? Whenever you're questioning yourself, you can always do a little bus stop. Does 3 go into 88? 3's into 8 is 2, because that's 6, and there's going to be 2 left. 3's into 28. Well, that's going to be 9 with 1 left. So that's going into decimal, so 3 doesn't go into it. Does 4 go into 88? Again, use a little bus stop. 4's into 88. 4's into 8 is 2. 2, so that's 4 times 22. 5 definitely doesn't go into it. Does 6 go into it? 6 is into 88. 6 is into 8, 1 with 2 left. 6 is into 28. Again, we're going to be going into decimals, so 6 doesn't. 7, does 7 go into it? 7's into 8 is 1 with 1 left. Again, decimal doesn't work. 8 does. 8 times 11. 9 doesn't, because we would have to be 90. 9 would go into 90, so 9's not going to be there. 10 doesn't, and we're back to 11. So we've listed all our factor pairs. So now let's look at factor pairs of 400. I'm going to do this nice and quick. So we've got 1 times 400, 2 times 200, 3 doesn't go into it, 4 times 100, 5 times 80, 6 doesn't, 7 doesn't, 8 doesn't, 8 does, sorry, 8 times 50, 9 doesn't, 10 times 40, 11 doesn't, 12 doesn't, 13 doesn't, 14 doesn't, 15 doesn't, 16 doesn't, 17 doesn't, 18 doesn't, and then it's 20 times 20. So I'm looking for the biggest number that is in that is a factor of both of 88 and 400. So what number's in both of these lists? And that's going to be 8. So I'm dividing the top, the numerator and the denominator by 8. So 88 divided by 8 and 400 divided by 8. 88 divided by 8 is 11. 400 divided by 8. If you're struggling, you can do a little bus stop. 8 into 4 is 0. I've still got 4. 8 into 40 is 5. 8 into 0 is 0. So that's going to be 50. We did actually learn that earlier. 8 times 50 is 400. So my answer is 11 over 50. Now, you could have done a large part of that in your head or in different steps. So you could have done 88 over 400. You might have realised straight away, I can divide by 4. So you might have divided by 4 first. So 88 divided by 4, again you could have used bus stop if you wanted to, and that's going to be 22. 400 divided by 4 is going to be 100. And then you could have gone, well 2 goes into both. So divide by 2. 22 divided by 2 is 11. 100 divided by 2 is 50. You'd have got there in both ways. You can choose which one you want to do. But you need to make sure that you've got it down to its simplest form. Doing it using the factors, so this way, make sure you've used the biggest number and make sure it's got to its simplest form.